That's great. Thank you very much indeed, James, and welcome everybody to our second part of this today's event. Thank you very much to the Gauge Guild for allowing us to come on and present Trainsporters to you. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a background as to how Trainsporters came about, because it was by accident actually. Carl, myself, and our partner Tony are actually double O gauge modelers, and
sorry about that.
but we support the O gauge team from our club, which is the Hillingdon Railway Modelers Club, and their fine layout Grinley Brook, which some of you will have seen in some magazines that were out last year, and some of you may have been lucky enough to see the layout when we've been on the circuit, and we've won some awards. Best in show at Wally for the 7mm, for example. So the O gauge team have done a fantastic job, and we're very proud to be able to go out and support them in their endeavours. One of the things that we noticed when we were out doing that was that they at times were struggling to construct the formations of their trains, because they would bring everything along in their boxes but have to unpack the models individually. And clearly that was leading to some frustration and some prolonged period of time to actually build the trains up. Now, we had seen some really good products from people like 10 Commandments and others, and decided to do something about it, because we couldn't find anything for the O gauge team. And in our other lives, we have relationships with people, for example, that can do the foam inserts, the precision cutting of the foam inserts. And we've used some boxes from the Really Useful Products company, which are fantastic boxes, very fit for purpose, a British company, using many recycled parts as well, components of plastics, to give us what they give us. So when we couple those really useful boxes with what we like to think are our really useful inserts, bring those together, that's what gives you those boxes. We had a go at providing some prototypes, provided them to the O gauge team for review. They seemed to like them. Some of them even bought quite a few of them to carry their stock around to the exhibitions. And it certainly has saved a lot of time, effort and frustration at the shows to actually build the train formations that they wanted. Over and above that, a lot of them are now using them for storage, which is great. The boxes lock into each other, not permanently locked, but they fit nicely into each other, which means they don't move around, which is very good when they're being transported, of course. And because of affiliations with other groups, such as the Twickenham group, a group in Guildford, and a number of others, we've started to grow our introduction to our product into the market. So we thought, well, let's launch a business and see what we can do on the back of that. Our first exhibition was at Kettering. We met the guys from Love Lane who were on this exhibition today. They actually bought quite a number of boxes for their stock, and as did we sell to everybody else at the show as well. In fact, we sold out, and that led us to take things a bit further. And here we are today. We've sold quite a few of these boxes now. We've sold quite a few today since our program earlier on today, and there is a special offer today for the boxes. We're doing a subsidised postage and packaging price for today's event. So that's how we came about, and what we would like to do is to share the product with you, to explain some of the bits and pieces, take any questions and answer those as best as we can. Carl, my partner here today, is going to start by showing you our biggest selling product, which is we call it the red label. It's a 33-litre box. And so over to you, Carl, if you wouldn't mind sharing that with everyone. I'm just going to switch the camera so you get a better view. Okay.
Lovely. Right. So as Mark said, this is probably our most biggest selling box at the moment. 33-litre box. This will take every bit of standard stock that you have, so carriages, locomotive, box fans, anything of a 4 height, which is worked out to roughly about 95 millimeters in height. The box consists of 4 slots, and this particular foam cut is 68 millimeters in width, which is the wider. We do one which is 61, which is more adapted to like freight stock as well. So to show you how easy it is to use the box, simply take the stock out of the box.
Let me move that out of your way.
Moving the box out of the way. As you can see, it's a clear plastic sleeve. We provide this, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use this. But some people like the idea of it because it protects anything which is vulnerable, like door handles, running boards sometimes, and brake levers for wagon stock. So out of the box within seconds, onto the track. Let's see if I can do this for the first time, second time. Nearly there. I should just roll off onto the track. There you go. It always works a lot more easier when it's
When you practice.
yeah, when you're practicing the box. There you go. It does go much more simply that, but there you go. Look, seconds for that, absolute seconds on the track. A full formation, you could probably, with the 4 slots, you could unpack a train within a minute or 2, really.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And it did save an awful lot of frustration from the members, and
Yeah.
and it also meant that they didn't have to carry around their boxes, the original boxes. They could leave those in the loft in safety, and but they knew that their stock was well protected, and actually as well, if not better, protected during the transit to the shows.
Yeah. And then
Do you want to do that in reverse?
in reverse, right? Let's see if we can do that as smoothly as we did it on the opening. So clear sleeve again. Once again, this is just purely just for anybody that wants to use this. Just roll it back in. There you go.
If I give you your
Right.
strap there.
Okay then. So back with the TSO 31. Back in the sleeve again. There's your slot just there. Straight in. Job done. Seconds.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Right, let me switch that camera back for a moment then, because one of the things that we do with our boxes is on the top of the clear lid that goes with that. This is a double O gauge version, but on the O gauge version, that you've got the 4 horizontal slots in there, which mean that people can label them up, show what's in the boxes so that they know exactly what's on there. We are going to be putting those templates on our website so people can print them off, print, rather than handwriting them, you print them electronically as well for neatness, if that's what they want. So there'll be those documents on the website in the very near future for people that want to do that. Carl, could I just get you to explain the differences? You've mentioned the 68 and the 62 as far as we're 61. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have to say thank you to Ellis Clark. He lent us some of those Mark 1 suburban coaches to make sure that we could perfect the width on those 68s. The 61s are intended for wagon stock or some of the lower type wagons where people like a slightly tighter grip. These tend to be a bit narrower than the coaches anyway, and so the 61s work well with those. And you can get the 61 width inserts in a 20-litre box as well. Carl, do you just want to show people how that works? Let me move that out of the way again for you, and then you can show the people the foam, the height of the different foams. Oh, and also show them that those
the sleeves,
and the snap-ons.
So when you open your box up, you'll have a full block of foam, and within that block of foam, you'll have the inserts which you'll take out so you can put your stock in. So imagine it like that. So what we've done is we've managed to have it so that the blocks are actually pre-cut. So if you can see that clearly, you can just literally just snap those off to your required measurements. It's regards to sort of putting stock together. If that isn't the sort of the length that you want it, you can very easily cut this one. It's very easy to cut with a good knife. And some people use silicone spray as well, just to make it cut much more smoothly. But it's very easy to cut and shape as well. So if you need to do any particular angles, it's quite easy to do that. You can always make a jig up or something like that as well. So as regards to let's say the 33 litre boxes goes, if you have the red one that we've got, you'll have two main bits of foam. So you'll have a base layer which is 15 millimeters. So that's your base layer where your wheels sit on. Then you have your main block of foam, which will be for the TSO 33 litre red box. That will be the main block of foam will be 80 millimeters in depth, and then you'll have a second block of foam on there which will be 35 millimeters in depth. But that allows you, when you open the box up, is that when you take off that 35 millimeter block of foam with the slots, it will expose the stock. So I don't know if you can see that. Probably do it that way around, yeah. So it would expose the stock, so it's like that in the slot. Easy to grab out of the box. Yeah. And if you didn't have the sleeves, that's what helps. But if you have the sleeve, we're just giving you the tools to make things much more easy for you. Everybody will have their own ways and their own requirements of putting the stock in and out of the boxes. We're just giving you the tools just to give you those options. So imagine that in the box. So you just pull that out, as simple as that. So if you have the two blocks of foam. So show that again, Carl. I'm just going to move to the other camera so that gives you a better. So if you imagine the two blocks of foam like that. I think, is that right? Yeah. Good enough angle? Yeah. Okay. So if you take that off, it actually exposes it. Yeah. Whip it out, yeah. And then on it goes on that. Yeah. And some people, where they've got shorter wagons, Carl, yeah, they actually, if I remember correctly, they'll have that. They'll have taken this out of the slot, so that's come out of the slot. That goes in, and then they even use some of those thinner ones, yeah, to allow the wagon to stand a bit prouder in the box underneath, so that they're easier to take out when you're taking out the box to put them on the tracks. So if you've got a box which has got a variable height stock, say like the 16-ton mineral wagons, say a more modern wagon, and then a box span or something, it just allows you to sort of have accessibility, really, to make the box much more diverse, more easy to use. Yeah, that's where we are with that. Right, let's see if we've got any questions coming in. Yeah. No questions. No questions yet. Some people in the previous session, people were asking us what boxes most people were going for. The red version of our box, which is the wide cut, the 68 millimeter, tends to be the most popular. But we do have some other derivatives depending on what people are looking for. So, for example, we've got another 33 litre with the narrow cut, as we mentioned. That's the blue box. That's 61 mil wide as far as the slots are concerned. Yeah, and the foam layers is exactly the same. The red and the blue are exactly the same foam cuts. It's just the actual width of the slots are different. You've got 61 or 68 millimeters. And then we have another box, which is the green one, which is the TSO 32. And that box is designed so that there is a slightly thicker base and lid on those. So, as Carl mentioned before, 15, 85, 30, and then a 15 on top. With the green, it's a 25 mil at the bottom and on the top. Yeah. And so some people prefer that because it can clamp the models down a little bit more. Yeah, so it's actual height for the stock. So we worked out it's around about 95 millimeters for most stock. So you have 25 millimeters base layer, Your main block of foam is 60 millimeters. The next one's 35, and the top one once again is 25 millimeters.
Good. There's another question. What do you recommend the 20-litre boxes for? Okay, so the 20-litre boxes are generally used for the lower height wagons. In fact, we started with the 20-litre, quickly realised that it needed to be taller because for wagons and for coaches it tended to be a bit too short. So we use the 20-litre for the lower wagon stocks and the flatbeds and those types of.
And the main block of foam for the 20-litre, the actual depth of the actual slots is 60 millimeters. So anything above that, you may have to go for a 33-litre box.
Yeah, and again, that's got a 15 mil bottom and a 15 mil top.
That's it. Yeah. So that's three bases of foam in the 20-litre boxes. It doesn't have the split, but maybe in the future, if people would like us to split the foam in the 20-litre boxes, we can definitely look at that. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, I should be perfectly honest with you, with that depth, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And of course, although this is the Guild O gauge O Guild exhibition, we have started to introduce a double O gauge variant of our product, mainly for ourselves. But again, people like them, and they've been buying them, actually they've become our most popular products today. The good thing about that is that you've got 10 slots in there, and we'll show you some other bits and pieces about that shortly. So how long does shipping take? So normally from order, the turnaround is normally a day, 48 hours at the most. Shipping, we do it on a 2-day delivery, 2 to 3 day delivery, depending on what part of the country you're in. So within 3 to 4 days, you've got your product. In fact, the reality is it's normally within a day or two that you get that, but we like to say within 4 days, you'll get your product. And it's turned around as quickly as we can do it. The main warehouse is in Kent, but we have 2 other smaller distribution points, one in Tring and one in West London, and we can ship goods from there as well. So pretty quick, really. Let's have a look. Are you planning to offer loco boxes for 1 or 2 locos? The answer is absolutely yes. In fact, some of our team already do that. We had one guy who's fitted 4 Class 50 Belgian road gauge locos in there, and perfectly safe. Most people like, in fairness, most people, those locomotives are pretty expensive. So some of the larger locos are pretty expensive, and they have their own dedicated wooden boxes. However, with more and more ready to run coming out in O gauge at reasonable prices, especially from the likes of Dapol and others, we're starting to see that people will put those locomotives. In fact, we've got a pannier, Dapol pannier here that we use from time to time. One of the things that we're looking to do as we move forward, and I just wanted to go into some of our future plans a little bit, is that we're looking to create train sets. So, for example, I don't know, one of those in one piece of the box, a rake of pressed clothes from Ellis when they arrive, and a guard's van at the end. You could get a loco, 10 pressed clothes and a guard's van, all in one of our 4-slot 33-litre boxes without any problems at all. And that would create a lovely formation at a show, at an exhibition, at a club layout, whatever, however you wanted to play it.
The train in the box.
The train in the box, yeah. the train set.
Yeah.
And actually what we're going to explore is the option to offer some train sets. Let me just quickly show you something here. As we mentioned, this is a demonstration of the double O gauge. I'm going to switch the camera over again to the other camera. what we really want to do is we thought it would be really nice if we could offer people enough slots in the piece. Excuse that bit of distortion. That's just because that wagon is quite heavy. I just set these out like that so that you would get an idea of what you could put in there. A Pullman set, a fantastic opportunity to put a full HST rake in there.
Yeah.
Now you might say, well, what's that got to do with the O gauge? Well, and we also like to make sure that we can fit as much versatility in there. So that is a full width Mark III. You've got a couple of sprinters in there, which tend to be the larger width coaches in double O gauge. One of the things that we're considering for the O gauge layout, let me move back to the other camera again, is a double layer unit so that we can actually have 8 slots in there. With that, we believe you could get a really nice rate. What about if we put some of that KMS HST stock that's due out in the fullness of time from the guys in Scotland? A complete train set in one of those would be good. Or mixing and matching different manufacturers into a single train set so that people would have an absolute prototypical train set based on excellent ready to run stock. They wouldn't have to put those train sets together. We would actually offer that as a train set in its own right. And we're talking to a number of different manufacturers about how we might couple up some of those prototypical formations for people to make it simpler for people to work. They would still get all of the stock, they would still get all of the original boxes, but they can go straight up in the loft and they just use one of our double height or single height if it's just one of that, like the press flow example I gave you earlier, if you wanted to train set.
And in regards to the press flows from Ellis Clark, we've been speaking to Ellis quite closely, and we've worked out that you can get 4 press flows into one of the slots. So you could get 16 press flows if you wanted to create such a long train of press flows in. So there's 4 press flows into one slot of the box, which is pretty good. That's buffer to buffer as well as within just a couple of mil left over on that. So
here we go. Next question from Phil is, what box would you recommend for somebody with a mix of O gauge stock? The one that is the most popular is the 33, the red, or the 20, or the green 33 litre box, because as we mentioned earlier, you can vary the height by using the 2 bits of foam. Take that away and put a wagon underneath it, for example, or you can. Yeah,
there you go. So that.
So the versatility that gives you does mean that you would have the best of all worlds. For those people that were looking for a slightly tighter fit, if most of their configurations were wagon stock or narrower locomotives, then we would recommend you have a look at the 61mm width. But it just depends what your configuration is.
It's a personal preference once again, as we say, and we found out very much from our own club members was that some people liked the narrow stock because they liked their stock tightly packed. Others were just a little bit nervous about, and they wanted it to be opened up just a little bit more. So that's why you've got the diversity between the 68mm width slots and the 61mm slots.
Okay, any other questions?
Coming in thick and fast.
Do you plan to offer layer stock boxes? Yes, we will. As we mentioned, that there is every possibility that we will bring in a 2-layer piece. Got to be careful because it starts to get a bit heavy, and that stock isn't cheap. So the last thing we want is that the box would be fine. The box will sustain it, but becomes heavier, and we don't want to cause people any hardship, but we'll keep our options on that. The other thing that we're considering is supplying the foam inserts on their own, and the reason for that is because many people already have 20 and 33 litre storage boxes, and they can use those with our foam inserts. The only thing is the foam inserts, because they're precision cut, they are not cheap. We like to think that we offer a very good value for money product. The precision cut foam has actually gone up about 25% this year alone. We've held back any cost increase to our customers, but there's only a limit to that. So there is a limited amount of wriggle room that we have there. So the actual cost of those inserts is the predominant cost with our product. Let's have a look. Any other questions coming in? Yeah.
Just to let everybody know as well, when you get the box, you don't just get a box and foam, you get the clear sleeves as well. You get some silica gel packs as well. So if you're storing your stock outside the house, maybe in a shed, a loft area or something like that, these silica gels will show up if there is any problems with any moisture building up in the box at all. So it'll just give you a pre-warning.
We're coming up to the end of this session. Thank you very much indeed for listening. If you want to find out more about us, then simply look up Trainsporters. Carl came up with what we think is a brilliant name. It says what it is on the box. We're also known as the Box Boys. Have a look at our website, Trainsporters, and we've also, there we go, we are the Box Boys. We'd like to give a few thank yous very quickly to two of our staunch supporters, Angel and Philip, two young people that have helped us with bringing Trainsporters to life. So thank you very much to them. Thank you to our other partner in crime, Tony, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today. To Ian for creating our website. For Ellis for his help with the coaches and others, the guys at Love Lane who have given us a lot of comments, critical comment, which has been very good. And in particular to the Gay Joe Guild for their hosting of us and giving us the opportunity to talk to you all today. So in particular, thanks to Jackie, to James and to Tommy for helping us present to you. Stay safe. Thank you very much indeed, and we look forward to servicing all your needs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much to Mark and to Carl. It is now 4 o'clock, so I will be terminating this session. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to enjoy the Gay Joe Guild virtual show. Goodbye now.
Bye.